Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome back to the Lions franchise. Today we're going to take a look at stats and awards and the state of the roster. Dwayne Haskins played a fine season. He didn't have to pass that much because we were winning at the end, and therefore Tyler Kingsbury got to play, but both quarterbacks displayed some inaccuracies which I'm not happy with. Calvin Short, he had the most rushing yardage at 739 and 6 scores. Kerryon Johnson was not that efficient, but he broke some more tackles, 28 of them, and he had also 7 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, he had 100 attempts for 444 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he didn't break that many tackles. Ty Johnson got into the game in garbage time and he was not very efficient, but I also mostly put a backup offensive line, so that's why his average is down there. Arcega-Whiteside, he had the most touchdowns in the league at 18, he had the 4th most receiving yardage at 1,233. Lindell Thierry, he had a fine season, but he didn't get as many targets. Raheem McLaughlin, he had a little bit more than 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson, his yardage was down there too, but it was also inaccuracies by Dwayne Haskins that affected him. Calvin Short, he didn't get as many targets as last year. And DeAndre Swift, he had a few catches here and there. That's about 1.3 catches per game, I think. Jermel McLean, he had a fine season. He was in the game on 200 downs. That's not that much, so I think that is a really good output. Tyrone Shepard, he had not even 100 yards and his contract is up, and I think I'm gonna let him go. Hunter Bryant, he had 32 yards, but since TJ Hawkinson did not get hurt, he was playing a lot less than the last year. And Matthew Ford, finally, he had 1 catch for 3 yards and 1 touchdown in the last game, but his contract is up and I'm gonna let him go as well. He has only 87 speed. Clyde Farr, he had a fine season considering all the edge rushers he faced. Sidney Woodyard, he had a tough game in that divisional round, but other than that, I think he had a fine season as well. Ron Leary was fine. Frank Ragnow was excellent, and yeah, let's go to defense. Luke Wagner, he has 156, that leads the league. Ramon Colon, the rookie linebacker, he has 142. Javier Taylor has 83, he was all over the place as a safety. And Addison Wheaton, the slot corner, has 82 tackles. Justin Gunter saw his role decrease, so he only has 73 tackles this season. For tackles for loss, Colon leads the team with 6, and that's not much. Justin Gunter had 5 despite this decreased role, and Trey Flowers had 5 as well. Then we have Carlos Jefferson at 4. His run stopping upside is not that high, I realized, and Jair Alexander as a corner had also 4. That's pretty good in the flats there. Carlos Jefferson had 14.5 sacks though. That was a great season, but a lot of coverage sacks in there, especially for our edge rushers, Trey Flowers and Terrence Rodriguez. They had so many coverage sacks. 13.5 for both of them. Christian Wilkins had a lot of coverage sacks as well. Jeremy Gabriel, he had only 4 sacks, but he was only in on 4-3 base downs, and that was mostly running plays, so he played the run a lot. Amari Burns, Matias Machado, Philip Durant, they got in there in garbage time and had a couple sacks each, and that is all fine. Now let's go to interceptions, where Luke Wagner with 7 picks leads the team. He had also 3 pick sixes. And there was also Ramon Colon. He got some picks in the latter half of the season, and I really thought that was great play by him. I was not happy with his play in the first half of the season, but he got it up there. Javier Taylor, 5 picks, also 3 defensive touchdowns. Great season for him. Jeff Okudah had 4 picks. Addison Wheaton had 4 picks. And Jair Alexander, he had 2 picks, but he also was not targeted that much, and he also led the team in deflections. And then there is a lot of players that have 1 pick. Terrence Rodriguez had 1. Justin Gunter had 1, despite this decreased role in the defense. Then Jeff Cheney, that was a user pick. And Miguel Cruz had 1. I think that was in the beginning of the season. Then Kyle Hazelwood, he was the 4th dime corner, and he had 1 pick as well, but he didn't play that much. Or Warrior did not play much either, and Tracy Walker had 1 pick as well. Then we'll go into forced fumbles. We only hit 2 the entire season. That is not enough. Luke Wagner forced 1, and Tracy Walker with a hit stick forced 1 as well. And then for fumble recoveries, we only had 1, and that was Colon. He recovered 1 of the fumbles and didn't return it a whole lot. So yeah, we need to get more fumbles. That was not enough at all. And then for kicking, Joey Sly missed some 50 and 60 yarders, but all in all, I'd say that's a good season for him. And I also missed some extra points. For total offense, the Lions are in the bottom half of the league. It's not bottom 10, but below average. For passing, we are down there as well. I think bottom 10 this time. Yes, bottom 10. But since we led most games, we didn't have to pass it much. We could just run the clock out. And that is why our rushing offense is a lot better compared to the league. We are top 10 there, narrowly, with 1898, and that's a lot more than last year. We also led the league in points per game, 33.3, but you also have to remember there were some pick sixes in there, so the number is a little bit inflated. We also had the most passing touchdowns because I didn't trust the offensive line at the goal line. And we also had a lot of big plays that led to touchdowns in the rushing game. So our rushing touchdowns are below average here, but I think that split is fair. First downs gained, we made a little bit of improvement compared to last year, but not much. We still are bottom 10 in this league at 259. I would love it if we got more consistent on first down attempts. We had the #1 defense in the league, and we also had the #1 pass defense. We only allowed 3,122 yards to opposing quarterbacks, and we had a top 5 rushing defense as well. We wrecked so many drives in the beginning stages. Our red zone defense was not that great, but we'll get to that later. We wrecked so many drives when they begin. We had so many 3-and-outs that the numbers here are really low. We also had the least points allowed in the league at 229. Awesome. We had the most QB sacks, and I would bet that 70 to 80% of these 60 sacks were produced by coverage rather than pass rush. We also only had 1 fumble recovery. I already talked about that. That number needs to get up. But on the other hand, we had the most picks this season, and it's not even close. 34 interceptions, which is not close to any record at all. The record is somewhere in the 50s, and it was produced by, I think, the Colts sometime in the 60s. We had the best third down percentage, and that was the major goal I was aiming for with our offense. I want to get into 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s that you can convert easily. Not all these 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 12s and stuff. For 4th down percentage, we were below average, but I think it's fine at 54%. That's not that bad. And for red zone efficiency, we were the best team in the league. On offense, we converted 95% of our red zone trips into touchdowns. I had a couple picks there. And for red zone points allowed on defense, we were pretty bad. We were bottom 5. We allowed 80% in the red zone, but that number needs to go down as well. Our defense still is young, and there is a lot of improvement to be made. With so many picks, we have easily the best turnover difference in the entire league, and I am aware that maybe my coverage sliders were a little bit too high on the defensive side of the football, but oh well. In the AFC Championship game, the Dolphins defeat Baltimore, the 5 seed against the 7 seed. Cliff Huff and Tua Tagovailoa combined for 5 touchdowns. And Matt Breida ran all over their defense, 112 and 1 touchdown. Also, Devontae Parker, almost 100 yards. Really good game by the Miami Dolphins, putting 42 on the board, so they are in the Super Bowl. And on the other side, the Carolina Panthers defeat the 2 seed, then the 1 seed, and then the 3 seed. I think they would really have earned this Super Bowl win. The quarterback competition in this game was pretty even though Dak Prescott got sacked 4 times while Baker Mayfield did not suffer any sack. Both running backs had a good day, but DJ Moore dominated 119, and it was not even that he had one big play. No, he had a lot of chunk plays of 20 yards and stuff. And also for the defense, we have Derek Brown with a sack. He destroyed our running game. Yetur Gross-Matos had 1. Levi Caldwell had a sack. And then Brian Burns and Jordan Kunashik combined on 1 sack, and that's 4 on the day. So this D-line is no joke. And I think the Miami O-line was reinforced, so that's going to be a tough matchup for both teams. And let's go to Pro Bowl. Dwayne Haskins is QB1 in the NFC, so he makes the Pro Bowl. Unfortunately, we did not have a running back, but Elliott, Barkley, Jones, they are 3 pretty great running backs here. And then Kyle Juszczyk and Tyrese Spence, and that is why he had 2 upgrade points in the last episode. Arcega-Whiteside was wide receiver 1 with 18 touchdowns. Then Michael Gallup made it. He plays for the Packers. Chris Godwin, Mike Thomas, and Christian Kirk from the Cardinals made it as well. We did not have a tight end because TJ Hawkinson did not have the connection with Dwayne Haskins yet. Then for the O-line, we have the usual guys: Tyron Smith, David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, Ali Marpet, and then Frank Ragnow. He made the Pro Bowl. And as always, the left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle 1 for both conferences got a dev upgrade, and if they already were at Superstar, I upgraded the second one. And so that means that a few O-liners around the league got an upgrade here. Carlos Jefferson made it for defensive tackle 2, so he gets a little bit of XP. For linebacker, it was not meant to be for Luke Wagner. And for cornerback, we had the most picks in the league, and none of our corners were even close to getting in there. And also no safeties, despite Javier Taylor having 5 picks. 3 of them were returned for touchdowns and a lot of deflections. Joey Sly made Kicker of the Year. And if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel or ring the bell for notifications. Let's look at awards. Ryan Tannehill is your MVP. Also Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow right behind him. And then Enrique Beal is Coach of the Year, so we got that trophy home. For the AFC Players of the Year, Leighton Vander Esch is in here. Quincy Best is the Rookie of the Year. Terrence White is the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He plays for the Texans. And then Ryan Tannehill is also best quarterback. Then Josh Jacobs is the running back of the year. Devin Duvernay, he also had a pretty great season. Ronnie Stanley is the best tackle in this AFC. And then we have some more awards here for Julian Love, who plays with the Texans now. And Will Lutz is the best kicker in the AFC. Cam Newton makes Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. No lines there. But for Defensive Player of the Year, Luke Wagner is at 1, and he did not get to the Pro Bowl. Right in front of Shaq Thompson, Roquan Smith, Isaiah Simmons, Hassan Reddick is there. And at 7, Ramon Colon, the rookie linebacker. He made it in the top 10 as well. He had 142. In tackling. Rookie of the Year, Darrell Scandrick, the backup to Ezekiel Elliott. Second, Stan Burks for the Vikings. And third, Raheem McLaughlin from the Lions. And also a few running backs down the list. Tony Howard, their first-round receiver, made the list as well. For Defensive Rookie of the Year, Ramon Colon takes home an award. And then at 3, there is Javier Taylor. He had such a great season. I thought he would get the award here. But I mean, Ramon Colon is fine as well. Dwayne Haskins is best quarterback in the NFC, and I cannot even believe it because he had so many inaccuracies. He only had 65% completion percentage. And if you look at the system I'm running, he should have had 75. Arcega-Whiteside, best receiver in the NFC and probably in the league as well. Best O-line, we got in there in 3rd place. There is Frank Ragnow, and down the list at 7, Clyde Farr, our right tackle. For best D-line, we had a few guys competing. Carlos Jefferson at 6, Terrence Rodriguez at 8, and Trey Flowers at 9. And for best linebacker, Luke Wagner only comes in 3rd despite winning Defensive Player of the Year, and Ramon Colon came in 8th. Best DB, Javier Taylor takes home some award here. He had a really great season. I cannot stress that one enough. Also, Addison Wheaton and Jeff Okuda take home some honors. Justin Coleman comes in 8th. He still is a great DB here for the Saints after I traded him there. And best kicker in the league is Joey Sly. With that, we have some upgrading to do, and that one is a pretty bad upgrade. +2 zone coverage, and that's the only stat that's going up, but oh well. Ramon Colon, he gets an upgrade here at pass coverage. That needs to get better. He gets some zone coverage here. And he has now 75, which still is not that great. Luke Wagner, he takes home an award, and he gets some zone coverage, man coverage, play rec, and we'll go with pass coverage once again. And he takes home some more zone coverage and +1 speed, so he just got faster. I love it. He has now 86 speed and 92 acceleration. His tackling is getting a lot better, and I am pretty happy with his development overall. Dwayne Haskins, he is the starting quarterback, and I'm not gonna draft a quarterback this season, but if it doesn't get better next year, I think I'll look elsewhere. Tyler Kingsbury, he is our backup for now. We'll see how he develops, but his ratings are not that much better than Dwayne Haskins. In fact, they are worse, and he had some inaccuracies in garbage time as well, so I don't really think he is the solution. Kerryon Johnson, he had a fine season. He still has contract, and I think he still is gonna be our bruising back there. Gonna run a 2-back system. The other back is Calvin Short. He has 96 speed. I love this dude so much, but he cannot run in between the tackles that much like Kerryon Johnson. But I was happy with his production. He just saw a decrease in targets this season. And DeAndre Swift took some of that away. He had about 200 yards through the air, but his contract is up and I don't know what to do, but I think I'm probably gonna move on from Swift because I really don't need him. Then we also have Tyree Spence. He took home a Pro Bowl and got 2 upgrades there in that last episode, and I think he is getting better. He is going to be our fullback next year as well. Lindell Thierry, he saw a decrease in targets as well. The defenses didn't give me all that many looks that allowed me to take the deep shot on him like the season before that, but he still is a good number 2 receiver. Matthew Ford, he is going to be gone. He does not have the speed I'm looking for. I think Raheem McLaughlin is the better player and he's younger as well. Tyrone Shepard, I do not look to re-sign him. Maybe I'll look at him again in free agency, but we really have his skill set already on the team in Raheem McLaughlin as well. And obviously Arcega-Whiteside is the number 1 receiver and he is the 3rd down guy as well. Raheem McLaughlin, he had some catching issues. He had a few drops in there. He cannot hang on in traffic. That's an issue. And his route runnings are about to be getting better. I think that's fine. And he also only has star dev. I don't know if I showed you, but he had hidden dev. And it's revealed to be star dev, which is fine, but I hoped that he would have maybe had superstar. And then we also still have Jamel McLean, and I'm gonna keep him around for some time longer. He still has contract as well. Sidney Woodyard, he had a fine season for a rookie tackle. He was not as good as the number 1 tackle taken in that class, but that's fine. I think he's gonna be a fine starter next year as well. Eric Fisher, he was a backup. He played a little bit in garbage time, but I expect him to retire this year. Then we also have Matthew Wilkinson, and I'm not sure what to do with him. He's not developing a whole lot. He is a fine run blocker, but he allows some sacks as well. And I don't know, I think our O-line still needs work. It's not great. It's not great. Frank Ragnow, he has been stellar this past year. Also the year before that, I would say. He's a fine center, and I think he's a top 5 center in the league as well. Ron Leary, I expect him to retire as well because he's gonna regress even further, and I think now is the time to bring out John Wise for his 4th season. It's gonna be a contract year for him, and I think he is now a lot better than in his first 2 years starting, but we'll see about that. Clyde Farr, he took home some honors as I think number 7 on the best O-line list in the NFC. So I upgraded his dev to star now because he didn't get to the Pro Bowl, but the other right tackles in the Pro Bowl for the NFC didn't get it either. So I looked down this awards list for the best right tackle that has not yet superstar dev, and Clyde Farr got an upgrade here, and TJ Hawkinson is still our number 1 tight end. There is no question about that, and he also has a contract. Terrence Rodriguez, next year is going to be a contract year for him as well, and he has so many coverage sacks, but I am waiting on the right production in terms of real pass rush sacks. Matias Machado, he had a fine year. Couple sacks in there in garbage time. Don't know what else to expect here. Jeremy Gabriel, he had a good year as a run stopper. He made it difficult to run on us, but his sack production is not that high. But still, I mean, he's good depth, and I think we also have DeMar Dell down there, and he is gonna be a good replacement for Gabriel. I'm not gonna pay Gabriel. Probably not gonna pay Gabriel because that's too much money, and if I have the same skill set down there and in DeMar Dell, why would I pay Gabriel? Carlos Jefferson, he had a fine season. He had a lot of coverage sacks as well. But he also split some double teams to get some sacks, so that's pretty great. And Christian Wilkins, he was one of the big surprises for me. He had 9.5 sacks as a pass rush defensive tackle, so he split snaps with Jeremy Gabriel and still got 9.5 sacks. Trey Flowers, he has had 13.5 sacks, but a lot of coverage sacks, a lot of sacks where the quarterback just ran into his lap, and his contract is up. I'm gonna look at regression, but I'm probably not gonna re-sign him. Too much money. Not gonna pay him $20 million a year. And then also Amari Burns is there, our first round pick from last year. He is getting better. He has not had a stellar season as a rookie, but I think he's fine. And I'm probably gonna let him start when Trey Flowers is gone. Jair Alexander had a good season. He did not get targeted a whole lot, and when he did, he mostly broke it up. Addison Wheaton, he had a fine season, but it's also going to be a contract year for him. And Kyle Hazelwood, our, I think, 3rd or 4th round rookie, he had a fine season as a cornerback 4. Then Jeff Okudah, I gave him a huge deal, and he's going to be our number 2 corner for quite some time still. And then also Amani Oruwariye. I think his contract is up as well. And I don't know what to do with him. I really don't think we need him because we have Kyle Hazelwood and we also have Addison Wheaton, but maybe I'll re-sign him if the deal is cheap. Tracy Walker, he had a fine season. I played with him. That was my user-controlled player, and he had 1 sack, a few hit sticks, 1 forced fumble. I think that's fine. Luke Wagner, he got upgraded to X Factor due to him being Defensive Player of the Year and having 7 picks. He is so good. He has now 90 zone coverage. That is such a high number. I love it. He's gonna pick some more passes next year as well. Ramon Colon did not get an upgrade despite being Defensive Rookie of the Year. Pretty sad there. And he really would have needed it because at normal you just don't get to develop these players a whole lot. Miguel Cruz was revealed to be star dev. I hoped for superstar, but he is only star dev as well. And then another upgrade here, Justin Gunter. I don't know why he got upgraded. He only had 73 tackles, he had limited play time, and he had 5 TFLs and 1 pick. That's not numbers that would get you upgraded. I would think so. But Ramon Colon, he would have deserved it a lot more than Gunter. But I mean, we're gonna take it if he develops nicely. Maybe Justin Gunter is the second linebacker of the future here. Javier Taylor, he got not upgraded, sadly. I love this kid so much. He has so much speed. He even got a speed upgrade this season, so now he's at 94, so he's so rangy. But he's a big guy as well. I think he's 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". And he also has zone coverage in the 80s now, so that is pretty great. He's gonna pick some more passes next year, I think. And finally, we found our answer at free safety after I found out that Jeff Chaney was not the guy. But oh well, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Lions franchise. See you in the next episode. Until then, spread some love.